federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted material without the permission of the copyright holder. Without the permission of the copyright holder. This is Biscuit. Say hello, Biscuit. Hello, everyone. On the 31st of March, it's going to be the memorial of the death of Christ for Jehovah's Witnesses. But there are a few things that you may want to know about this memorial and about the belief that Jehovah's Witnesses have towards Jesus Christ before you attend this memorial if you are not a Jehovah's Witness. Because you need to know that there are only 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses, but there are 20 million people attending this memorial every year. So there are some things that you need to know about the beliefs of Jehovah's Witnesses when it comes to Jesus Christ and about what's going on really in this memorial and what it means. It's interesting that I have a friend who is a Christian, and he used to study with Jehovah's Witnesses a long time ago. And the reason why he never became a Jehovah's Witness is because he knew his Bible already pretty well. And it wasn't hard for him to realize that Jehovah's Witnesses are really not Christians. But interestingly, not only they believe that they are Christians and say that they are Christians, but they even call themselves true Christians. So that's very interesting. And I met this friend. I was already out of this religion, but I was still indoctrinated, and I still believed back then when I met this guy who became a friend of mine. I still believed that Jehovah's Witnesses were Christians. So every time we talked about it, and by the way, he was the only person I met after having left this organization. He was the only one who knew that I had been a Jehovah's Witness. So oftentimes he used to tell me Jehovah's Witnesses are not Christians. And every time he would say that, I would say, yes, they are. Yes, Jehovah's Witnesses are Christians. Well, obviously, I did not know the Bible, because the Bible, I've learned it. I've learned what the Bible was supposed to have said with Jehovah's Witnesses, so with the indoctrination. I did not ever read the Bible on my own before being a witness. So I believe what they were telling me, even though it's different really from what the Bible says. And sometimes, because I'm not stupid, I would see a difference. But because I was so ignorant about the Bible on my own, I wouldn't trust myself even when I noticed something weird, something different between what the Bible said and what the witnesses were saying. I did not trust myself enough to trust myself into understanding what I understood. Okay, I trust the organization for knowing better than I did. It's only many years later, when I really started waking up, that I started watching videos from true Christians, not Jehovah's Witnesses, true Christians, and them explaining what the Bible was really about when it came to Jesus Christ, and then understand that, wow, yes, indeed, Jehovah's Witnesses are not Christians. My friend was right. And by the way, I do not consider myself a Christian because I do no longer believe in any religious beliefs, and I do not believe that the Bible is that authority, universal authority for me to follow. So when I'm telling you, maybe more than if I said I'm Christian, because it's easy to say I'm Christian, so I'm selling you Christianity. If I'm telling you that Jehovah's Witnesses are not Christian, you should believe me even more so, because I'm not selling you Christ, okay? But I'm telling you that according to what I've learned later on about what being a true Christian really is, and what Jesus said exactly, and what he meant here and there, and what Jehovah's Witnesses believe, they are two very different things. So why you should not go to this memorial, and if you go, well, you may want to know a couple of things. I have been watching a few videos that were made for this upcoming memorial, and yesterday I was watching Susan Gaskin's video. And if you don't believe that Jehovah's Witnesses are not Christians, well, I'm going to play you a short clip that she played in her video, coming right off djw.org. And look at it.
Think about the many names in the Bible. We know whose name occurs the most often. Jehovah's name. Like a little audience participation. Whose name occurs the second most prominent time? Okay, our dear brother.
Israel?
No. Whose name appears the second most? Brother Hal? No. Excuse me. No, not yet. Brother Anthony Montoya? No. It's getting hard. Probably if I tell you, it's a little embarrassing. It's Jesus Christ.
Embarrassing? You bet it is. So if you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses, by the way, watching this, and you still don't know that you're not Christians, that your leaders are not Christians, those were elders and ministerial servants. It was some type of meeting for elders, or just elders, or elders and ministerial servants. They are so not Christians that the word, the name Jesus didn't come up to their minds. What is the next name mentioned the most in the Bible after Jehovah? That's not even there. And they don't say Jesus? Something is really telling here. So just wanted to show this clip as a little parenthesis, as a proof that those guys are not Christians. So if you are not a Jehovah's Witness and you belong to the 12 million people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses and go to those memorials of Christ thinking you're doing something good, you need to know a few things. First thing you need to know is that Jehovah's Witnesses, they believe in two classes of people. They believe in the anointed class, as they call it, the ones that go to heaven when they die. And they believe that the rest of the people on the planet, they all are not going to heaven. They are going to die and be resurrected on earth. For Jehovah's Witnesses, the only one that actually follow what Jesus said, which is, do this as a remembrance of me, eating the bread and drinking the wine, the only one doing this are the anointed class. They're the only one who actually consume the bread and the wine on that memorial night. All the other guys, well, they have to pass it along. They have to pass it to the next person sitting next to them. Because one thing that you may or may not know, in like any cult, the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses has leaders. Cults have either one leader or several leaders. In the case of Jehovah's Witnesses, there are more than one. There is a group of now 7, 8 men that are leaders of this religion. So those leaders, what they did, well, they took the place of Jesus in a way, because they're pretending to be the mediator between you and Jesus. That is why they allow themselves to consume the bread and wine, but they are telling you, no, 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 you cannot do that. We are the mediator. And that's one thing that you need to know. Whether you're a Christian or not, you need to know that. You need to know that Jesus never, ever said that nowhere in the Bible. He never said that you need a man, several men, or an organization between you and him. If you want to be a follower of Christ, you need to consume that bread and wine. But Jehovah's Witnesses will make you not do this. As a matter of fact, if you want to do the test, if you want to eat a piece of the bread when it comes your way and drink a sip of the wine, you probably see people around you looking at you like you're from Mars, because you're not supposed to do that. So in other words, you're not supposed to listen to what Jesus said that you should do. What you are really doing is doing what the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses is telling you to do. And as always, the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses is full of contradictions. Because on that night, on that memorial of Christ's death night, you are going there not to do the very thing that you are supposed to be doing, meaning eating the bread and drinking the wine. On the other hand, those leaders who have made the rank and file, not Christians, they them allow themselves to eat that bread and drink that wine because they believe that they are special. But at the same time, when you look at their illustrations, at their magazines, the images that they are using, especially lately, you can tell that Jesus has disappeared from the picture, literally. When I started watching videos from ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, I remember watching a channel from an elder, an ex-elder. The main reason why he started waking up is because he had noticed that. He had noticed that when the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses was representing the organization through images, Jesus wasn't there. He just wasn't there. And that's how he realized that this religion really had pushed Jesus to the side. And as a matter of fact, many of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses who woke up and consider themselves true Christians, well, that's the reason why they started waking up. They realized more and more that this organization, the organization leaders, had pushed Jesus to the side more and more and more. And right now, Jehovah's Witnesses are certainly not Christian more than ever. Another thing you may want to know, and you may or may not believe this, I do not have the proof because the video I'm going to speak about, I can't find it anymore. But about a year or so ago, as I was searching information about cults, cults criteria, and stuff like that, I found a video from a cult expert, and especially a satanic cult expert. He has nothing to do with Jehovah's Witnesses. He may not even know anything that Jehovah's Witnesses do. And that's why what he said was very powerful to me. What he said is that one of the rituals that some satanic cults practice is to pass themselves the bread and the wine without touching it, which means that they are rejecting the body and blood of Christ. He said that what the Jehovah's Witnesses do on their memorial night is actually a ritual that some satanic cults practice. You know, even back then, over a year ago, I already knew of a few things that had proven to me that this is not only a bad cult, a bad ex-religion of mine. No, I really understood that this is even a satanic cult. And by the way, a French channel, perfect channel that shows everything you need to know about this cult. Well, he also shows a lot of things, evil things, satanic things that this organization does. So I already knew of some of the things, but when I heard this from this expert in satanic cults, and he was not even mentioning the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, when I heard that, that did it for me. I knew that what I've learned before plus what I was hearing then, as they say, 2 + 2 = 4 or 1 + 1 = 2, it put all the dots together for me. So right now at this point in my life, I know fully well what this organization really is. It is not just a bad religion, it's more than that. So you need to know that. You need to know that you may be okay with it, but I thought it was worth telling you since this is just a few days before this memorial. If you go there at the Kingdom Hall and you do what you're supposed to do, according to Jehovah's Witnesses' beliefs, you just pass along the bread and the wine without even touching it, just touching the plate and the glass, well, you are actually doing a satanic cult ritual. You might want to know that. Because if I had known that, if I had watched this video even before I was awake, I would have paid attention. But it's just me, Maybe you don't even believe it, it's up to you. But anyhow, this is what I wanted to tell you about the memorial of Christ's death when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses. If you really are Christian, if you really want to celebrate that night, if I were you, I would do it at home on my own. I would not go mess up with a religion that is not even Christian and that actually does things that are very, very suspicious, to say the least. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening, and as always, I see you on my next video. Bye bye now.